Oh, another game without a win at Stamford Bridge. It is starting to get frustrating now. It's March, I think, is the last time Chelsea managed to win a game at Stamford Bridge. However, there are a lot of positives to take from today's game. I thought, as a whole, if that's what football's going to look like under Pochettino, then I'm here for it. I thought it was a refreshing change on everything we've seen for the past season and a half in terms of football as a Chelsea fan and what we've seen from the players on the pitch. Reoccurring injuries and stories seem to be the case. Reece James cannot be Chelsea captain if he cannot stay fit. It's as simple as that, because he's not on the pitch to be captain, and he can't be the captain from the treatment room. So Reece, please sort it out. And Raheem Sterling surprised me today. A good performance, a long-awaited performance, a performance that shows the type of player I think we thought that Raheem Sterling was always going to be for Chelsea. And once again, strikers can't score goals at Stamford Bridge. It's a repetitive scenario, like I already said, that just seems to be coming over and over again. But as a whole, I thought we saw a lot of good performances today. Enzo Fernandez is quite clearly the best midfielder in the Premier League. And I know some of you will laugh at that statement because, he barely scores goals. But this guy controlled that game for pretty much 90 minutes today. A phenomenal player, well worth the fee. There were times last season when I genuinely thought he's going to be wasted at Chelsea. But under Pochettino, I see it now. I see the future. I know what it looks like. Enzo Fernandez will be raved about under Pochettino at Chelsea. I can see it now. He was so good today. He fought for every ball. He commanded the midfield. He dictated play, dictated the tempo of the game, kept going, fought for it. What I will say is he really, really, really needs an additional partner in there. I think that's why the bid is so high for Moises Caicedo, because you can just see, look, Conor Gallagher is everything I want from a player at Chelsea in terms of fight, desire, heart. There's just sometimes the quality just seems to be lacking, or the decision isn't quite as quick as some of those more talented players. Conor is where he is in the game because of sheer determination and persistence, not so much his quality. Now, don't get me wrong, he obviously has a lot of quality to be playing for what I think is a top 6 Premier League team this season. But there are certain things that Conor Gallagher can't do that other players definitely can, and that is needed in Chelsea's midfield. But I'm going to start all the way back, really, as we summarise the team, with the goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez today didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. There was one moment where the pass was horrific. There were a couple of moments where I thought he was nowhere near the ball. The goal that went in, I don't know what he was doing with his feet, but if you watch the replay, he cannot sort his feet out in time. However, a couple of things I did like from him was he seemed to be claiming the ball from corners with his hands, catching the ball. We haven't seen that at Chelsea since Courtois. Mendy liked to punch. Kepa definitely punched because he's not tall enough to catch the ball. I thought his distribution at times was okay, but it just kind of screams Kepa 2.0 to me. I don't think he's the level that is required to be a keeper for a top team in the world. And that's where I think Chelsea are aiming to be. So I definitely still view him as a backup, to be honest with you. I think there are better keepers out there that could come in and do better than what Robert Sanchez did today. Now we move on to the defence. And the defence probably shocked everyone today because Pochettino played 45 minutes of free at the back in pre-season in America. And all of a sudden today, when everyone's predicting the 4-2-3-1, he drops 3 at the back. And you know what? That's the back line for the season. Disasi was great. Really, really good. Not the most exceptional player I've seen on the ball. A huge physical presence. A guy that wants to fight. And when he scored that goal, and I loved his movement in the box for that. It was like a striker. when he scored that goal, his celebration showed what it meant for him to play for Chelsea and score in the Premier League on his debut. And that's what I want to see. And that, for me, is enough to have him in the team. I felt he looked slightly better on the ball than Trevor Chalobah. And I feel like he's more of a fighter and a warrior than Trevor Chalobah. And I feel like if he can contribute the amount of goals that Trev does, then I think Trev will struggle to get back into the team, especially with the homegrown hanging over Trevor's head. It means he'll be moved on. Centre-back, Thiago Silva, as classy as always. I feel like those two, though, Colwell and Dizazi, were definitely his legs a bit more today than we've probably seen a few other times. But look, there was a few times he still had to turn on the burners and he was absolutely fine. Commanding everyone, moving people around. It's just Thiago Silva. That's what he does. Thiago Silva things. And then we move on to the left side of the defence. Levi Colwill is phenomenal. There were times last year when I'd watch him, I'd be like, he's very good, but he's never going to play for Chelsea because I just know what happens. But this one might be it. He is the heir to the 26. The left-sided defender. We all thought Koulibaly last year was a bit cheeky. Don't know how he managed to get that number. I know he made the phone call, but Colwill feels right to me putting on that 26. Everything he did today was pretty much superb from about 10 minutes on. It took him a little bit of time to get going, and then he was great. So, look, I really, really like what I saw from him today. For me, I think the natural progression will see that move to a 2. But right now, that 3 at the back looks so solid today. So really, really happy with that. And yeah, what a player we have. And we've done so well to get him in on that long contract. We obviously saw the return of our treasured superstar, game-winning wingbacks return. The players that arguably helped contribute to winning Chelsea the Champions League. Reece James and Ben Chilwell. For 70 minutes, it was almost perfect. There were a couple of times Chile was caught out of possession, but look, that's what happens when you play 5 at the back, and it just takes a bit of getting used to. The centre-backs have to understand that gap between them and the wing-back has to be discussed before the game, because that's where Salah kept dropping into. And even for Liverpool, when Robertson was bombing forward, Van Dijk was being found in an area where he didn't want to be, up against like Reece James and Raheem Sterling. So, look, those positions have to be addressed. And that's something Poch will obviously see and address with his coaching team in the coming weeks, because we have pretty much a week between every game to address these problems. And that's why I really feel like this is going to be the season where we can build something and it will look really good. But 70 minutes, it was perfect. But Reece James is injured again. And look, Reece, I love you. You're everything I want in a Chelsea captain. You are perfect for that armband. You are destined to be Chelsea captain for the next decade until the day you retire at Chelsea Football Club. But you've got to stay fit, mate. You can't keep getting injured. You're made of glass, Reece. If it takes you being out for a season to let you come back and be at the best you can be without getting injured, then do it. And I think I could probably speak on behalf of every Chelsea fan, because we are fed up seeing you walk off the pitch or being carried off the pitch and not seeing you back for weeks or months. We just want to see the Reece James we know that's there on a consistent basis. And the same with Ben Chilwell as well. Ben Chilwell shows what a threat he is going forward. And there's all these people banging on about other players. But under Poch, we will see Ben Chilwell take his game to a new level. And I thought today was the beginning of that. There's a few things to work on defensively, but that happens in a new type of system or with new players. That'll get sorted. And believe me, Levi Colwill is so good, he will allow Ben Chilwell to be even more of a dominant threat. And a couple of times, Chile was tucking into midfield and kind of picking up that inverted wing-back role, and it worked really well. And then other times he'd pull wide and Trent didn't know where to go. Ben Chilwell is a class player, and I just hope he can stay fit as well. The midfield, like we spoke about, Conor Gallagher he's just not quite perfect there in that role for me, but he is okay, and I'd rather see him at Chelsea than not, to be honest with you. I think he can definitely do a job, and he fights for the badge, and that's what I want to see. Enzo, looking good, looking superb, I should probably say. I've already touched on Enzo. He is a fantastic player. I'm so excited for him to be unlocked a little bit more by bringing in Moises Caicedo. And then we're going forward. Carney Chukwuemeka probably didn't expect to start until Nkunku got injured. And for me, was very, very good in spells. Not quite a completely polished game, but he's a big physical presence. He moves very well. He's very light-footed. It reminds me of Ruben when he was a bit younger. I see a really bright future for him. And look, if Pochettino takes a liking to him and can turn him into the type of player that Dele Alli was at Spurs in that team, then I've got a lot of time for it, because Carnes is looking better and better with every game under Poch. He had a really good pre-season, fully deserved the start for me today, and I thought he was solid. I thought he had a really, really good game. A player that surprised me today, though, Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling was... For the first 10 minutes, I thought, oh, here we go again. This geezer is never, ever, ever going to be good enough for Chelsea Football Club. He just has dropped off. He played too much when he was younger, and he's just here to wrap up his days. But do you know what? Today, I saw a different Raheem Sterling. For however long he was on the pitch, after the first 10 minutes, he worked, he tried hard, which I haven't seen him do an awful lot. The way he spoke before the game saying he's going to be Chelsea's top goal scorer. He cut inside. He was using his body like he used to, holding off huge players against him. He's got a small frame, but he defends and positions his body around the ball magnificently. He's a very, very good player. And we haven't seen it enough in the Chelsea shirt. And today, we did. I was very happy with how Raheem Sterling played today. I thought he probably could have got an assist. There was a couple of times when I thought he maybe could have chose a different option. But he showed today why he is going to be key in a team that is playing good football under Pochettino. And Jackson, he's great. He did everything right today, bar score. And he could have even had an assist at the end. And Mudryk, well, look, Mudryk has got a lot of things to learn. Very, very raw still. But look, Jackson is what Chelsea have been missing for a long time. But there's just obviously that thing at Stamford Bridge where for a long time, only a certain breed of striker is able to score goals. And I think Jackson is closer to that than I've seen. But I would have loved him to get a goal today. And then there's no talk about him not scoring and stuff like that. I'd rather just get underway, get scoring goals, start putting the numbers up, and just kind of fitting and moulding the team around him. Because he makes runs in behind, he can hold the ball up. He's impressed me so much for such a small fee and almost like an unknown quantity coming in. When you look at the likes of Osherman and all these names we're being linked with, when you realise you can go and get a player for like 30 million, it's class. And it almost looks the same at the back with like Desazi, 40 mil. There's no pressure on these players really, because that fee is squad player type of fee at a club the size of Chelsea. Now we'll talk about the subs. When I look through the bench, I was slightly concerned. That's where I think Chelsea look weaker all of a sudden. I think that is where there's not enough trust for me to be able to bring players on that can change the game. I saw the likes of Cucurella. I saw the likes of Mudryk. I saw the likes of Bergstrom, which I'm worried because that is not the type of goalkeeper you want to be bringing on if something happens. Defensively, all the way through, I thought the subs bench looked a lot weaker. It looked a lot weaker, and that concerns me, and I think that's probably where Chelsea need to address that a little bit more, because some of these players that are coming on, they're just showing that they're probably not there. Maatsen come on, he was awful. If anyone thinks Maatsen had a good game today, then you're wrong. He got very fortunate as well, not giving away a penalty. Because I've seen them given, he was on the ball, so slow. I don't think he expected the Premier League to be that quick. He definitely isn't an attacking player in terms of where Poch sees him playing like he was in pre-season. I think today he was shocked, and I'll be intrigued to see how his future develops in a very small amount of time at Chelsea, because if we see him leave between now and deadline day off the back of that performance, I won't be shocked. I thought he was very, very poor. I thought Mudryk, on the other hand, was exciting in parts. I thought he was going to score. I cannot believe that he didn't end up scoring. His touch around the keeper, he's moving so quick. What is he like? I don't understand how you can move that fast and expect yourself to control the ball. He actually almost needs to slow himself down a little bit, and then I think he'd actually have more time and be able to reward himself more, because he has the speed to change gears so quickly that he just needs to slow down a little bit. he's just too quick for his own good in that situation. It makes him chaotic. But there are times as well when he's blatantly fouled and it wasn't given. So, look, Mudryk is right on the edge of starting for me and just kind of needs a few games to get going, work on partnerships. He played really, really well in pre-season with Nicholas Jackson and barely got near him today. So, yeah, I feel for him a bit. I thought Pochettino, all in all, had an okay game. I felt like the subs on the basis of pre-season would have been good subs, but they didn't really perform for me today. I thought Liverpool's subs were better for them than ours were. I thought in the first half we afforded Salah far too much time, and that worried me. I thought Reece James completely lost his man for their first goal. Ben Chilwell was very, very good going forward today. We looked like a threat from set pieces. We look like quite a physical big side again, which is nice to see with Cairns, with Nicholas Jackson, with Dizazi, with Levi. It's a pretty sizable team, and that's what I want to see at corners. So, yeah, look, I'm happy with a few things today. There's a lot to build on, and if football looks like this under Pochettino, then I'm here for it. Looks good, and let's see what happens for Chelsea this season. We obviously have a bit of a break now, which is always the worst. You wait so long for football to come back, and then all of a sudden there's nothing. But look, we're in the Cup. Early doors in the League Cup. I really want us to go and do well for that. We've obviously got Wimbledon. Hopefully, between now and our next game, a couple more signings are announced and through the door. And we might see a few twinges to the lineup. But all in all, I'll probably give it like a 6 out of 10 because we've come away with a point. But I think if you can move up from 6, you're looking at a win. So one of the better draws Chelsea have had, I'd say, in a while. So honestly, pretty positive. Not too many negatives to take, but definitely a few issues still to be addressed. But it looks brighter than I thought. But I would have loved to have got a win against Liverpool because it's been a while since we've won at the Bridge and a while since we've beaten Liverpool. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm happy with it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're still trying to hit 1,000 subs throughout the season. And we're going to be here talking about Chelsea, Saudi football. We're going to be talking about the Premier League and everything that's kind of going on. So, I'd love you to be part of the community. Like the video if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.